Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. This is video number 9, and in this particular video, I would like to talk about how my father, Abba in heaven, saw that I was grieved over the death of my dog, and he allowed us to visit. This took place in 2013, and I had a German Shepherd, and he wasn't your typical German Shepherd. Your typical German Shepherds are usually brown with black markings. Well, my German Shepherd was mainly black, mostly black all over with brown markings. I was very, very close with this dog. I was closer with this dog than most friends and family, which is strange. But me and this dog had a really, really strong bond. Um, we just clicked. We were just really, really close, you know. He would go to sleep at my bedroom door, and he would, wake up, wake up. I mean, wait for me to wake up while I was laying in the bed. I mean, I would just roll over and I would hear him pop his neck up because I could hear his little tag on his collar. Um, he was a very smart dog. I remember one particular day I was sitting in the kitchen, and he kept looking, in the corner of the trash can, and then looked at me, and then looked in the corner of the trash can and looked at me, and it's almost like I knew that his ball rolled back there, and he didn't want to get his ball and knock the trash can over, and we get upset. So, it's like he was communicating to me, and I'm like, what happened, King? Did you lose your ball? And I got up, and lo and behold, I moved the trash can to the side, and there was his ball. Before I could even kick it out from out of the corner, he just kind of put his face in and, got his ball. Um, I was just really, really close with this dog for years. Um, I think we first got the dog in 2008, maybe 2009. And I moved away for about 4 years, and I came back. And when I came back, I was so happy to see the dog. I was like, yay, I get to see King. And 2 months later, after I arrived, he died all of a sudden. I really do believe that the Lord gave him just enough time for me to see him, even though I didn't know that this was going to be the last time I saw him. He died all of a sudden. But nevertheless, I believe that God let him stay alive long enough till I could just spend some time with him. One particular day, we were taking him to the vet to get him checked out, and unbeknownst to us, his heart was completely overrun with heartworms. We purchased some heartworm medication for the dog ourselves. We administered, gave him the heartworm medication, but unbeknownst to us, we didn't know that the heartworm medication actually expired. So it didn't work, and he ended up getting heartworms very bad, and we took him to the vet, and the vet was like, we're going to have to put him down. He's in a lot of pain. And we really were not expecting that at all, and I was devastated. I was crushed. I mean, when they put him down and he died, I felt like it was like my best friend that died. Like, I really, really, really love this dog. I have never been that close with any dog ever, and I grew up with dogs, but this particular dog, he was just he was like my best friend. And that whole entire day, I was just kind of in a fog. I couldn't believe it. I was sitting on the couch trying to watch some TV to take my mind off of it, and I would catch myself looking over in the corner in his favorite sitting spot, and I'm, just looking like he used to sit right there. He used to sit right there, and I'm looking at this empty spot on the floor, and I went to sleep that night, and I woke up the next morning. I thought it was a nightmare. I got out of the bed, I flung the covers off of me, and I came, charging down the hallway. And I'm like, where's King? Like, where's King? And my relative was like, she kind of gave me this look like, like, are you serious? And when she gave me that look, that's when I'm like, it was real. He really did die. And she was like, yes, baby, he really did die. I thought it was a bad dream. I thought I was having a nightmare. And I just broke down. And I think I cried like the whole day. I was just I was so depressed. I just couldn't believe it. I was just so blue. And I actually went to sleep later on that night crying. I actually cried myself to sleep. And in the middle of the night, sometime between, me crying myself off to sleep and waking up that next morning, I had something that felt like a dream, but I know it wasn't a dream. And it went like this. I just appeared in this really, really dark space. It was like, it was just pitch black everywhere. And I'm standing there and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, why am I here in this place? And there was a spotlight. That was beaming down right in front of me. And I could see something moving beyond the spotlight, like past the spotlight. Behind the spotlight, I could see something moving. And I kind of, zeroed in to see exactly what it was. And I'm not gonna lie, it looked like a wolf, and his head was down, like it was gonna pounce on me. And when I zeroed in a little closer, I saw that it was my dog. And I know that there's like 1,000 German Shepherds, but when you see your dog, you know it's your dog. Just like when you see a relative or a friend or a family member, you know it's them. And he had his head down, not necessarily because he was going to pounce on me, but he had his head down because he was like, he didn't want to scare me. He had his head down because he didn't want to frighten me. And when I saw him and I recognized that it was him, I said, King! Because I was surprised because he died a couple of days ago. And I said his name. I said, King! And when I said his name, he just kind of popped his head up and just walked out into the spotlight like, oh, well, the jig's up. She knows it's me. There's no sense in trying to not scare her or anything. She knows it's me. And he just kind of popped his head up and he just walked out into the spotlight, and he put his 2 front paws down on the ground and he sat down on his butt and he's looking up at me. And I'm like, that was my facial expression, like the whole entire time. I couldn't believe it. And I wanted to run up to him and hug him and pet him and, oh, I missed you so much. And but at the same time, I'm like, am I having a nightmare? Or I I was afraid to touch him and rub him and pet him because I was afraid that he was gonna bite me or attack me. And I was afraid that I was having a nightmare, and I didn't want to be deceived. So I'm just standing there, just looking at him, just shocked. And he's sitting down in the middle of the spotlight, and he's looking up at me, and he was communicating with me telepathically because I can't speak dog and he can't speak English. So he was communicating with me telepathically in my mind. And it's like I was reading his mind. And he just kept saying, it's okay. He's like, don't worry about me. He's like, I'm doing great here. He's like, I love it here. He's like, oh man, I'm so happy. He said, don't be sad. He said, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't be sad. It's okay. He said, I love it here. I never want to leave this place ever. I never want to leave. It's okay. Don't cry. Don't feel sad for me. Be happy. Be happy that I'm here. I'll see you here when you get here. And out of nowhere, it just ended. The dream ended, or I just woke up. And when I woke up that morning, as soon as I opened my eyes, I knew that wasn't a dream. I knew it wasn't a dream. And I never cried, and I never felt sad about him dying ever since then. Ever since then. And I know some people are probably going to watch this video and they're like, it's just a freaking dog, lady. Are you kidding me? But I was closer with this dog than I was some humans, you know. And I've actually spoken with other people, relatives, where they were close with someone, an actual person that died, and they had a dream or a vision that they were able to see them in their dreams. And you know, they were saying the same thing that my dog was saying. It's okay, don't worry about me, don't cry, stop crying, you know, stop it, I'm okay, I'm doing great, I love it here, don't cry for me, be happy that I'm here. I've heard other relatives say the same exact thing. So it gives me confirmation that God loves us so much, he cares about us so much, that he allows these things to happen. Like I said, I was so blue, I was so depressed, I was so sad when he died, and I wasn't expecting for him to die. And even though God let him have enough time for me to come back to visit him for the couple of months that I was here before he died, he was even more gracious enough to let us see each other after he died in my dream or my vision. Ever since then, I never felt sad, I never cried again. You know, I'm happy for him. And you know, and I really do hope that I go to heaven. I try my best to be saved, to stay saved, to not fall away. I don't believe once saved, always saved. I believe, because if that was the case, there wouldn't be an apostasy, a great falling away. Because what do you have to fall away from if you were not saved, right? You know, you're already fallen if you're not saved. But you know, that's for another video. But I just wanted to share my story of how God, he really is a very kind, gracious God. He really is. He is a very kind, gracious God. I just wanted to share my story and my testimony with you guys. This is video number 9, and I make this video to glorify God in heaven, and blessed by his will be done. May we all be covered by the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Shalom.